B&T GHM9. Manufactured by Swiss company Brugger & Tommet, the Grasshopper Mouse 9, named after the scorpion-eating rodent of the same name, and also a not-so-subtle dig at their main competitor, the CZ Scorpion, is an ultra subcompact pistol-caliber carbine based off the larger and more popular B&T APC9, which shares its receiver. But it is made to be more affordable than its military counterpart. Now, B&T licensed guns are no strangers to airsoft, with the USW, MP9, and SPR 300 all having airsoft replicas. However, it will be quite interesting to see how this new brand, Lambda Defense, handles this particular B&T replica. Hi, I'm Andrew, and continuing with the theme of stockless guns, I'll be reviewing this week the brand new Lambda Defense B&T GHM9-G GBB. Now, the G designation is to indicate this model's compatibility with Glock magazines, which this GBB is also compatible with. Now, this is a pretty significant model, as there's never been an airsoft replica of this relatively new B&T PCC before. So let's get to it. Now, on first impressions, the GHM9 has a very unusual profile due to this really blocky upper receiver, with a reciprocating bolt handle that almost resembles that of a modernized Thompson, like this one. However, this also feels like incomplete. As you can plainly see, the GHM9 has no stock, no sights, and not even a muzzle device with this exposed thread at the front. It really is about as bare bones as it gets. Great if you already have a bunch of accessories to put on, but not so much if you don't. Externally, the construction of the PCC feels rock solid. No wobbles or rattling over here. However, this is also where we come across the gun's major drawback, in that unlike the real GHM9, which has a single-piece aluminium upper receiver, this airsoft replica's upper is made of a high-strength polymer instead. Now, this is quite disappointing, as not only is it unrealistic and not as fun to shoot, but it leads to sort of cut corners like over here, where instead of two real retention screws, we just have screw shapes molded directly onto the plastic. However, those who are disappointed shouldn't worry, as Lambda have announced that a CNC aluminium upper receiver kit will be released around later this month, which does unfortunately beg the question as to why wasn't it standard with the gun in the first place. So anyways, let's start at the front with the free floating barrel, and this PCC comes with an exposed 14mm CCW thread for all your accessory needs. Behind that is a very small plastic M-lock railed handguard with a single slot on the 3 and 9 o'clock positions, with Picatinny rails on the 6 and 12 o'clock positions. Not much real estate over here for accessories, but a weapon light and a foregrip is really all you need for a PCC of this size. On the top, we have a single monolithic top rail for all your optical needs, which is important because, again, there are no sights over here. Now, inside the upper, we have a chunky bolt that fires from a closed bolt position and is actuated by this charging handle that can be swapped to the other side if you so wish. Now, this charging handle is reciprocating though, so do watch your fingers when shooting. Now, open the bolt and then hold it, and inside the chamber, you can see over here a very convenient circular hop-up dial to adjust the hop. Over to the frame, which features an ambidextrous 45-degree select fire lever just above the trigger and easily accessible with your thumb. Up is safe, down is semi, and fully across is full auto, with the ambidextrous magazine release in front of the trigger right on the magwell. The GHM9 also features an ambidextrous bolt release just above the mag release for quick reloads. The trigger itself has basically no take-up and is a pretty hefty wall with a properly chunky hammer release. Woo! And a subtle reset. Now, it won't really be to everybody's liking, but I'm personally fine with it as, let's face it, this isn't exactly supposed to be a precision weapon anyway, so you might as well go ham on it. Now onto the rear, and well, guess what? There is no stock. Thankfully though, unlike last month's KG9, the GHM9 does have a rear-facing Picatinny rail that allows for the attachment of third-party stocks like those on the MPX, though you will unfortunately have to buy one of those separately. And now onto the price, and at just $174 US, this GHM9 is actually one of the most affordable gas SMGs available on our library. It really is excellent value for what you have, partly due to the polymer upper receiver, but it is also within the spirit of the real GHM9, which itself is marketed as B&T's more affordable alternative to its mil-spec level APC9. And finally, the GHM9 comes with its own 35-round Glock-style gas magazine and is compatible with all TM, VSC, and WE GBB Glock magazines commonly found on the market. So the Lambda Defense B&T GHM9-G is what I would call a bare bones modular PCC that is faithful to the real thing in almost all areas apart from one. But, as usual, how does it shoot? Let's head to the range and find out. And now for the Chrono. As usual, we'll be firing 0.2 gram BBs using green gas. And now for the accuracy test. Here we are at gun range 0 at the 15-meter range, firing the GHM9. Now, in case you haven't noticed, we've actually outfitted this with a stock sight and a suppressor in order to make it resemble the sort of gun you'll actually be using in game. Which, to be honest, looking at it like this, it really does look quite nice and very functional. It's very compact. So let's get going, shall we? It's hot. Let's do this. First impressions, not bad. Ergonomically, feels great. Super compact profile, easy to use in very, very tight spots. And with a stock and various accessories, very, very skirmishable. There's no complaints about its ergonomics though. The shooting wise, from here the accuracy is actually pretty decent. The grouping is quite tight, I can see it from here. However, the shooting experience, being an all-plastic gun, does fall short of expectations of what you'd usually get had this been full metal. You could probably hear by the audio that, you know, the shooting action is quite muffled. You know, doesn't have that clang that you'd usually get with a full metal gun. And that is unfortunate because had this been full metal, it would have sounded absolutely fantastic. Overall, I can't really complain much about its usability. Its skirmishability and its accuracy are pretty decent. However, it just feels like it's missing that last bit that would turn this from a good gun to an excellent gun. And that is unfortunate, but I can't complain too hard. So let's go check it out, shall we? All right, let's see this. Well, like I said, you go and take over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'll be completely honest, these two I should probably count as flyers. The range is quite short, but I gotta say that this is pretty impressive. So, tell you what, I'll pop this down. As I mentioned earlier on, yeah, the accuracy, fantastic. Fantastic away from a distance of around 15 meters. So there's no complaint about that. Gas capacity also, I must note, is actually pretty good due to the short bolt travel time of this particular machine pistol. So there's no complaints over there. But again, as I said, you know, it's just missing that extra clack, you know, that metal on metal sound that rings in your ears. This gun unfortunately doesn't have it. Now, Lambda have went and said that there will be an aluminium upper available sometime soon, but sometimes you just want to ask, like, you could have included it, and it would have been great. But that being said, I did like it. I really did. So, without further ado, let's head back to the studio. And we're back. So, the Lambda Defense B&T GHM9-G is a properly chunky shooter with a very solid construction and a satisfying firing action. Now, in terms of externals, the GHM9 is a rock solid and unique platform with no other models of its type to compare with, though it is let down by its polymer upper receiver. Shooting is hard and fast, with good accuracy, though as you saw in the range test, buying a third-party stock in optics will massively help. Ergonomically, it's ambidextrous and easy to use, and its compatibility with Glock mags means you'll have no problem finding more. And also, most importantly, at $174 US, this gun is cheap. Perfect for newer players just dipping their toes into the world of GBBs. Now ultimately, we give the Lambda Defense B&T GHM9-G a respectable 3.5 stars out of 5. So let's hand it over to you guys. What are your thoughts on the Lambda Defense GHM9-G? Let us know in the comments section below. And for these cool products and many more as always, visit us at www.redwolfairsoft.com. This is Andrew, out.